we're going to get into all of this stuff. I'm a man that I prep and that, you know what I mean? I make sure I've got my stuff patterned.
So what are you, that's my camera. Sure.
That's you, that's me. And I think we're ready to rock and roll. And just like that, we're back. MTTE, More to the Ends podcast with myself, Big Cam. And today, I'm not by myself in the building. Who else you got in the building?
Obviously, you got Big Lou in the building today. It's a pleasure to be here, my boy.
One of the man from the ends. You know how the thing's set. I'm always gassed when I got guests on the pod. It hits home when the man them from the actual ends that man grew up in come on the pod, show love, and also when they got their own story that they can kind of tell to our listeners and our viewers and stuff. So yeah, man, I think this one's going to be a proper one still.
Of course it is.
As you just said, you just come out of prison and stuff, like only been a year or so.
Been out prison a year from last week.
And you've been active with a capital A. Like, I've seen you doing bare things. You probably, if you don't know, like, Lou's been on Young Spray's podcast. He's been on Chisel's pod. He's been on James English. I think
Lad
that's even going to be out today. Lad Bible. Like, you've been out there grafting and doing a lot more than a lot of man that's not been in pen. Like, they've been out on the streets.
Do you know what I'll say to that, yeah? I could have easily come home and sat on my arse for a little while. But if I'd done that, I could have fell straight back into the same trap. I could have looked for like easy money again. But instead I kind of stayed consistent in what I wanted to do.
Another thing that people underestimate the difficulty of, like, the fact, and I say this to people like that I work with and stuff, that like, I don't think you guys understand how easy it would be for me to just make 2 calls and now I'm banging a line in OT and all all of this bullshit that I know is not good, but at the same time, if I'm trying to get extra bread, I'm thinking, like, you start to weigh up. Obviously not in a genuine sense, but it's a thought that pops into your head. So I have to commend you for like just doing your thing and that. What I did want to, usually we start the pod off, quick couple of questions. That way the listeners and stuff can kind of gauge what you're about, your mindset and stuff, yeah. Do you think that crime is a sign of weakness or strength?
This is a crazy one because I say it's a bit of both. See, one of the reasons why I was involved with crime, part of me enjoyed it, and there's an actual story behind it as well also. When I left school, I actually went and applied for a job at Asda's.
I remember you saying still.
I went and applied for a job. There was 8 of us.
Junction 1. Yeah.
There's 8 of us, yeah. There's 6 spaces. I'm thinking, I'm going to get a job at Asda's. It's nothing crazy, but it's work.
Start you off, innit?
I was one of the 2 who didn't get a job at Asda's. And do you know what's funny? I turned up on my little 50 Gilera moped. I had the crazy black bootcut jeans on, yeah, with wallabies. I thought I was doing bits.
They're back now as well.
What, wallabies?
No, bootcut still.
Oh, that's sick because I've got bare jeans in my cupboard still. I've got the Levi's and it's hanging still.
If you want to do up fashionista, they're back still.
Yeah, so that really knocked my confidence in that, you know. But at the same time, I was like 16. I was actually selling weed also at the time, but I didn't want to. So
like,
I thought,
consciously, you was doing it, but you knew that weren't really your, like, what you wanted to be on.
It really knocked my confidence. Me not getting a job at Asda's.
Yeah.
It messed me up. So I thought, you know, I carried on selling weed. And at the time, as a little 16-year-old, I was making very good money, like, around where I'm from. Well, where from.
All right, so just because I have heard you tell this story before, but like for someone that's never seen you, never heard of you and stuff, like at that age, what how much bread do you reckon you was making, like weekly?
Weekly, I was doing a box of weed a week in drawers, £10 and £20 drawers. So back then, for a box of weed, it was like 34, like 3,400, and you're gonna make back £3 off each box if you're doing it in pieces. I was doing that most weeks. Like, my line was probably better than most people's hard food lines.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I've never really been into hard food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the sentence obviously that you get for hard food is obviously going to...
It's crazy. And do you know what's mad? I actually did get a prison sentence for weed. For 2 ounces, yeah? They done me dirty though, bro. 2 ounces of weed.
How long did you get?
What do you think I would have got, or a fine or whatever?
For 2 ounces, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm not proper well-versed with the prison system and the sentences, but I would guess 6 months. Maybe a year.
Oh, they gave me 10 months in prison for 2 ounces of weed, whereas the person they see me give it to, got a £70 fine. Because they done me for supplying and they done him for possession. They gave me 10 months in prison.
So you probably said personal use in that.
Yeah, he probably said personal use, whereas as soon as they see me pass it,
they know that's...
They was videoing it, but I've gone in my house. They've nicked him at the side of my house. And as they've nicked him, I've got a phone call. Oh, Lou, your pal's getting nicked outside the house. They're searching him.
Is that when you were saying in the doc that you flew out the back?
I flew out the back door. So when my uncle told me, said, Lou, they're searching so-and-so, I was like, cool. Packed up the duffel bags. Cut out the back door. Managed to get away. But obviously they had me on camera passing it through my metal gate. So I just said guilty, man.
You was on the elbow hard, rude boy. But then, you say all of that, is crying a weakness or a strength then? Because like, around all of these things happening and stuff, or like, let's say you're mid-teens and that, did you cry or did you think crying was sneaky or weak or like?
Not all. I've grown up in a crime family. Uncles, my dad, older brother.
That's quite interesting.
Obviously, my dad's old school armed robber.
Yeah.
My older brother's always sold drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, changed his life around now.
Yeah. Shout out bros.
But yes, it was kind of normal for me not to see mum and dad go to work.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know. I can't really answer it.
It wasn't. It maybe wasn't a thing that you thought about.
Like, I did not think about it one bit. When I'm doing like moves or selling weed, I don't even think of consequences whatsoever.
Okay, that's good, because the next question I was going to ask you, well, actually, before I ask you this question, I think crying can be a sign of weakness in the wrong setting. Like, there's a time and a place. Sometimes it shows a vulnerability which may not be needed at that time. However, I don't think there's nothing wrong with you maybe being by yourself or with your girl or whatever, or your man if you're a girl or whatever, and you lot are like having a vulnerable moment. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be careful who you're vulnerable around, because a lot of people will manipulate that vulnerable situation
very easily.
Yeah.
Do you know, there was a stage when I was a lot younger, maybe like around my 22, I was 22, 23, whereas I felt like I was really under pressure, really stressed. I was really depressed at that age, you know. And
but you probably didn't know that was depression, though.
I didn't know, whatever. So part of me was doing things purposely, kind of wanting to go to prison, because I felt like I needed a break. So me thinking I needed a break was me going to prison. And even my first 6 months of being out of this sentence, I was thinking, I need to go back to prison. It's hard out here. I need a break. Like, even now, prison is a break for me. I know it's wrong, but I'm breaking that cycle slowly. But I still feel like I could do with a 2-month break quickly just to get away from society.
God forbid, touch wood, all the rest of it. But
I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
But I know what you mean in terms of previously you was actually kind of manifesting it then. Like,
I wasn't, it's bad, but
yeah. You didn't know it better though.
Listen, I'm doing so much better, man. I'm actually proud of myself. Like, I've been out of prison a year.
Pause, because I don't want you to get into the you know, like, you got the story of like all the lows and that. We'll get to the good parts and stuff in a bit. Next question though, what was the last situation that humbled you?
What humbled me? Coming out and not having no money in my pocket. That humbled me a lot. And
you're just another number, boy.
At the same time, yeah. You know what's crazy? Like, I come out to no money, yeah. I could have easily got into crime, but I kept telling myself no. And somehow, money was coming in my pocket. Legit money was coming in my pocket. I'm thinking, look at that, though.
When you're consciously saying, nah, I'm not doing the bullshit.
Yeah.
A way is actually being found.
A way's being found to like fill up my pockets again, not with crazy money, but doing little days works here and there.
Yeah.
Like, just grinding and that, you know.
Yeah. I always say on this pod, obviously, because of where I grew up, and we're gonna get into that next year. Because of where I grew up, I know about a lot of shit. Because of my family members, I know about a lot of shit. But I've never done road, innit? But it's always been 2 phone calls away, innit? But I can imagine that the feeling that you get when you know, like, I've got money in my pocket and no one is actually going to come and try and take it from me. Like, this is all lidge. Like, I can sleep. comfier just because of that.
That's where I'm at now.
Yeah. That's got to be a good feeling, though.
It's absolutely a beautiful feeling. Like, whereas 10 years ago, my house, I get put through like every 6 months.
I remember you saying on the doc that the yard got boomed 20 times and that.
Oh, my poor mum. Put her through some shit, man.
Shout out Mumsy. We're gonna
big up my mum, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get to all of that, man. Shout out all the mums out there, like in the end doing their thing. Because as I've said to people, like it's only now I understand why my mum would get angry when I didn't take the chicken out the freezer and that after she's worked a whole shift. Yeah, and now she's got to come back, wait for that to defrost, then cook it. Now she like it's
something so easy like that you could just do for her, you know.
So small, and you're just like, but what's the big deal? Like you don't
exactly that
till you become an adult and you realize, like she was really
mum wasn't even asking for a lot.
6:30 in the morning, come back 4, cooking at 6, only resting at 9, then going to bed basically. Like it's a full-time thing. All right, cool. So for those who don't know you, where are you from?
From Battersea, Patmore Estate, just off of the Wandsworth Road. Come on.
And what was life like for you in like, we'll say school, but primary school?
Primary school. So obviously I went primary school on Patmore, St George's.
I went Wyville still.
You went Wyville?
Yeah.
Did we ever play you at football?
I don't remember playing you lot still. I played Ray and Dunraven.
Okay, we was all playing this side of primary schools and that.
No, Alan Edwards, sorry. Not Dunraven, Alan Edwards.
So primary school for me, it was alright. I actually enjoyed it. I'm still close with a lot of friends all now from primary school.
Same.
But do you know what happened? I got moved out of there in year 5 because my dad moved us to country for 2 years, which didn't go too great for me. Because as soon as I got there, you know, like the country kids, they wasn't up to date like the London one was.
They're on different stuff.
Yeah, they're on playing cricket and rugby and whereas we play football and maybe rounders.
Yeah, it's a class thing.
I remember as soon as we got moved to country, I'm not one for rugby. I don't want people jumping on me. And I remember this fella Joe, he done a rugby tackle on me, brother. I cracked him.
And clean man out. These times is a part of the game.
It's part of the game. I don't want to be tackled, innit? So I'd rather.
I'm not on it, bruv.
I'm not on it, Joe. I'm not on it, mate.
But you done it anyway. So you
done it anyway. Suspended from school and all that. Yeah.
Shit. So then, what? Couple of years you flew back.
Moved back to London. Straight back to the same estate, Patmore. Got into a secondary school. Went Southfields in Wandsworth. It was going all right, yeah. No, I'm lying. I'm fully lied. Fully lied.
I was getting ready to cap.
Yeah, fully lied. I wasn't the cleverest. I wasn't the smartest in school, and I was very quiet. I've always been a very quiet person, and I used to just sit there in the back of the classroom, me and my friend Cheeks, and I used to fall asleep in maths every day. Like for a whole year, I done 1 page of work in maths. Like Mr. Stanley didn't even bother ask me to wake up.
The same man that was jugging getting bread did not take an interest in maths. Like,
nah. It's easier for me to break down
I remember your brother saying that maths was light work.
Oh yeah, he's sick with maths, whereas I'm probably better with my English for some reason. Like yeah, it was easy to just break down the box into bits and pieces and that. But yeah, school was just I was just quiet and I didn't want to be there. I had no confidence. I felt like all the other kids were smarter than me, and I was one of the kids that I didn't ever put my hand up and ask for help.
I was kind of like that as well still.
So this is one thing I always try and put out to the kids, like with every podcast I do, like, you know, like if you're sat there and you're not understanding what's going on, even if you feel so silly about the question what's been asked, just put your hand up and ask for help. Just ask, man. It won't hurt.
I think, not to harp on it for too long, but I think a lot of that just stems from, like for me, I didn't like rejection, like from an early age. So what I would do is I would do the work, but whether it was wrong or right, I'm not going to know till the next lesson. Because like you said, I'm not putting up my hand to say, oh, miss, I didn't really understand what you said. I'm going to ask, because if the man then can't help me, I'm just going to freestyle, bruv. And I probably would have like increased majority of my grades just that bit more if I actually knew what the hell like I was doing lesson by lesson. So you're definitely right still. Just ask, bruv. There's no shame in asking. Do you know what I mean? And also, if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's something my dad's taught me as well. Don't ask, you don't get.
So, no, that's real. Alright, cool. So, obviously, you spoke about prison briefly. You've been to prison and stuff. How many times you been?
Been three times.
All right, cool. You can count in one hand, so
3
that's a good
times,
thing.
not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, I say it's a good thing in the grand scheme of things, isn't it?
I'll be honest, I didn't learn my lesson to the last one, though, innit?
I'm always intrigued by this with man in that's gone pen, yeah? Do you reckon it is kind of just an age thing as well, though? Because, and I'm only asking because I feel like, obviously, man them are not dumb, but like when you're forced to sit down, obviously you have kids, then you're realising, raw, I'm missing birthdays. Or your mum's, like your family, you're starting to realise, raw, like, I know I wanted to do dirt and all these things, but I didn't really deep that when I go, I'm not a part of life. Like, do you reckon that's just an age thing, or is it a mentality thing, or?
Yeah, you don't think of none of them things. When you're committing crime and that, for me, I don't ever think of none of that until I was actually arrested and sitting in a police cell or in a prison.
That's deep still.
You know, it's deep. Like, I don't know, like, for me, the last sentence, it takes for something to click to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like with these little small sentences, like 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
It's like a youth club in there.
Yeah, I know. Now it makes sense when you're saying raw. It felt like a little break.
It felt like a little break.
Like just a quick thing, dip in there for a few months, whatever, then come back on the roads, do what I'm doing.
Like you go in, like I can go into any prison in the UK and bump into someone I know. It's every
using the system.
Every prison I've been to. Oh, Lou, what's happening? Like I see one of the boys. So yeah, it is like a little break, but not when you get the big lumps, like over 10 years and that.
Yeah, the real bird still.
That's a proper bit of bird.
All right, cool. So, what was your first night in pen like, if you remember it? Like your first ever night in pen?
I was creasing. I remember I just got...
what? You was busting up?
I was creasing, yeah. Because you know what? Back in like 2000... back in like 2005 and that, if you went jail... You'd be like, oh shit, Lou's in jail. Yeah. Free Lou or whatever. But when he comes out, it's like a little party. Yeah, don't mind whatever. I've never been really like that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got there on the wing, a couple of my friends were in the induction wing already. So I've got there, and my friends Gotti and El from Clapham. They're like, Lou, what's going on? And Snipes as well. Like I think it was just absolute mental. Like it didn't feel like nothing. So I banged up in my cell. My Cody's next door. I remember we both had tellies, but I didn't have an aerial plugged into my telly. So I would have had no telly for the night, but I quickly run in my Cody's cell and nicked his aerial, innit? Right. So he went the whole evening with no telly. Right. So yeah, we laugh about it to this day.
Was it the real aerial? Was it coat hanger?
No coat hanger. Okay. Just a little aerial from the TV to the wall. I just quickly swiped that and I remember banging up when the screws locked up our doors. I banged him. I was like, "Hey, is your telly on?" He's like, "No, I ain't got aerial for him." I was like, "Oh
shit, man.
Sorry, Ian, man."
You done it, Ian, man. Is it? Obviously, I know probably now because I know now they got Fire Sticks, they got YouTube, they got PlayStation, the rare. Them times there, was it like a channel 1 to 5 thing?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was only for the first year, and then we got moved. When I got moved out of Felton, we went to a prison called Portland, and they had like 3 extra channels, like E4,
okay,
maybe ITV2. I can't even remember now.
So just to spice it up a little bit, you might get a little Big Bang Theory and all of these types of joints.
Hey, listen, that got me through my bird.
Bruv, man, don't sleep on Big Bang Theory and that, you know.
Listen, big up Bernadette and that, man. Bruv. Seriously, they got me through my sentence.
Don't sleep on Big Bang Theory still. Alright, cool. What was your last day in pen like?
On this sentence?
Yeah.
It was emotional. I left my dad. Because my dad was my Cody and he was on a life sentence. He's home very, very, very soon.
Shout out Pops.
See you on Christmas, Dad. Leaving my dad thinking, I'd rather my dad be leaving and me stay here. And he's probably think vice versa. He would have thought the same thing. Remember just walking down the hill and my missus picked me up, innit? I was looking, she looked really good that day as well, you know.
Yeah, she would do it.
I was walking down the hill, I was like, oh my God, she had some brown leggings on. She was gymming it them days as well. Hannah, you need to get back in the gym, man.
Rotted.
Shout out Hannah. But anyway, we would have done our thing anyway, but it was emotional. Gave her a big cuddle. Then she took me to go and pick my daughter up. Things still weren't like feeling right. That thinking, is this like, am I meant to be out here or not? Like, or
someone comes back and,
or do I need to go back to the prison at 8 or something? I only just started like finding my feet the last couple months.
What, now?
Yeah, now I've only just started finding my feet. Because like I said, with the first few months, I wanted to go straight back to prison.
Yeah, I guess that's the easy thing to think or to do because of what you was doing for the years and that before. Like, it's an easy thing to say, Raj, you know what? Fuck it, man. I might as well fucking...
The thing is, what I've been doing, I've been throwing myself in difficult situations. There's been a lot of things I don't want to do, but I know I have to do this in order to progress to the next thing.
Keep going forward.
And even if that door don't open, I'm going to try and cut through that door.
Bro, you can always learn lessons. Even if you failed, bro, you learn, all right, cool, then I don't need to do that next time. Or I should have done that more next time.
That.
You're right, still.
Exactly
right,
that.
Still. Okay, cool. My perspective, as I said, I ain't been penned, but I got family members. My perspective on prisoners is that they're like forgotten people. They're like, especially to like a normal, everyday 9 to 5 hour that just does their job, goes home, has their family and stuff. They're not really, a prisoner's not really in your thoughts. And obviously when you look at the news and stuff, you just say prisoner, criminal, evil person. But obviously you spent time inside, and even you yourself, you know there's more to those types of people. So just speak on like some of the misconceptions of people that's inside, and how, for example, some people think most people inside are dumb, or they think that they don't want to do nothing with their life.
Do you know what's crazy? Some of the most talented people I've met have been in prison, whether that be with music, whether that be like art, making things. Like even my dad, for instance, my dad's a sick bricklayer, carpenter, welder. He's got all of these trades under his belt. My dad's very smart like that. And even like all the rappers, what you see now, I've been in prison with basically all of them. Look where they are now.
Yeah, man. I told the man them this is more to the ends. MTT. I told the man them that
there's so much more,
bruv. Like we are talented people. Some of us just haven't tapped into what our talent is and what people like about us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I did want you to talk in that story.
I don't see with like the ends and stuff. Yeah, we got some great talent around there. Yeah,
come on, man.
I don't feel we push each other hard enough.
Just give you a massive spot.
Like I see some people, I'm thinking you should be a lot higher than what you are. Bro. Like
it's okay, alright. Obviously,
but there's a lot of things behind closed doors what we don't know.
Right. So that's what I was gonna say. That like obviously we're not speaking on specifics. But it's a general feeling, and it's good that even where you are, because you're like, you have a bigger profile than I do, I felt the same things from early doors. I thought, like, man, this thing is called more to the ends. I'm trying to push my ends, but everyone else's ends. Like, how come it don't resonate with you, or why aren't you seeing that I'm trying to support you or whatever?
That's why it was only right that I'll come and check you as well, you know.
Bruv, enough respect. And I think I'll say this for me, innit? What people don't understand is, when a man like Lou checks in with man, I'm younger than you. You're giving man motivation to keep going. To someone else is gonna say, oh, okay, he's got my man on. Okay, cool. His pod has got a little bit of more of a rubber stamp on it. Like these things help man progress.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you don't reach down to a man that's trying to build up their thing, and you don't link up with them, you don't connect with them, you don't promote them.
This is what makes me laugh. I've seen. I'm not gonna start naming names, but I see people putting out music. And I'm thinking, why are you not sharing his music? Why are you not sharing his music? This is absolutely mad. But like I said, there's a lot of things that goes on behind closed doors. We don't know, so there's reasons to certain things.
Of course.
But there's a lot more to the ends, man.
Okay. There's no magic fix in it. But what are some things that you think would keep a you, like 16-year-old you, what's some things that you think would have kept you on the right path?
Someone giving me a bit of confidence, like knocking a bit of sense into me, like play more of a mentoring role. Make me realise my potential.
That's what I'm saying.
Make me realise my potential, because I'm realising now I'm quite good at engaging with people. Bro, I didn't know this before.
Bro, it's obviously man does a podcast, but the skill of communication and talking to people is not a skill that everyone just has. Not everyone is okay to just talk to random people. A lot of people have anxiety in these things.
Exactly.
So you're right. Still, like realizing your potential is a big thing.
A lot of the youngsters, we need to make them realize their potential, what they can actually offer.
Yeah.
You know,
that's real. Still,
maybe like around like estates and that, we need to have some sort of workshops.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think, obviously, we're going to go on to talk about Carneys Community.
Carneys Community.
We're going to go on to talk about stuff like that, because obviously the general theme when people discuss what's going on with the younger lot, the ends, the stabbings, blah blah blah, is they say youth clubs, blah blah blah. That's not just a permanent fix. Like, just have a youth club doesn't mean that things are gonna get fixed. What it does do though is create a safe space, hopefully,
yes,
that kids can go and use their time constructively. So like, as I said, we're going to touch on Carneys Community, working out as a young kid so you're staying fit mentally as well as physically, having a community of, I'm going to go see Fred and Benji on Friday, and at least I know every week I've got that to look forward to. So I want to stay out of bullshit so that I can keep going to that place. I think those things are very important still. So with that being said, do you want to talk about Carneys Community?
Yeah,
see the doc.
See what Carneys Community offers. Like, all the classes are free, you know.
Wow.
You get your boxing classes, you get circuits. They get fed. They do you know what, the food's actually nice as well. So after after the workout, they get to go and eat after, because remember, some kids ain't going to have a proper meal when they get home. Yeah, they're getting a proper meal, you know.
Yeah.
And like, there's a fellow called George that runs it. Yeah. George Turner.
Hopefully, maybe possibly one day we could get him on the podcast.
He would happily come on here. He's a great guy, and do you know what? He's probably lost about 20 youngsters to like knife crime. So I don't even know what goes on in his head. But do you know what? He's still consistent. He's still there for them kids, and he's still saving kids. And
still obviously saving them. The ones
I just got goosebumps.
I was gonna say the ones that have passed. Rest in peace to the little kids and stuff that get involved, and obviously it ends sadly and stuff. But also you have to think on a positive note. There may have been 20 that you've lost, but there might have been 200 that you've saved. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly that.
So that's real still. And so how did you get involved in?
I've known George for about 15, maybe 20 years, from when I used to get in trouble. And he was always like the go-to person after I've been arrested, go and see George, get his thoughts on things. And they'd be like, he's always tried to push me to get into boxing or play a mentoring role to the youngsters. He's a person, I say, he's been very consistent in my life, and it just made me feel really appreciated as a person. Even when I went to prison, he didn't have to visit me. He didn't have to send me a letter. He's done all of that. He stayed consistent in my life, and now I'm trying to pay back by turning up at Carneys. And even if I just talk to a couple of the youngsters down there to play like a sort of mentoring role, I know they listen to me, and I just enjoy watching them training at, and seeing some of their faces. It makes their day down there.
Bro, I probably sound like a broken record, because I harp on the fact that the younger lot are not just like any bunch of kids that don't give a shit about what no one says. That's not true, bro. If they respect you and you can level with them and you can chat to them and they see, you got a bit about you, or you know what you're talking about, they will listen to you and they will be more inclined to say, do you know what, alright, cool. It's not tomorrow that I can just stop doing what I'm doing, but I will think twice. Yeah. That's a big point. Still, it's a big point. I even, because we spoke about this as well, I even believe like people like yourself, maybe like myself at some point, we have to assume a responsibility for the bullshit of where we're from. Obviously, not every single situation we're going to be able to pattern in that. Yeah. But we do have to kind of say, can we have certain conversations? Can we de-escalate shit before it gets to some stupid level? Yeah. Stupid things happen.
This is why I want to start like engaging them a little bit more. Obviously, I've got my YouTube stuff. But I eventually wanted to start getting some of the youngsters involved, like with people like myself who's been to prison. Yeah. Having these discussions. Yeah. Kind of making them see some sense in that,
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a big kid, innit? I'm a big boy Cam, but I'm a big kid at heart. Like I like anime, I like all of that stuff. So I kind of like, when I look at kids, I kind of see myself in them, and I'm like, you just want someone to talk to, or like you just haven't been hugged in like a month.
That's like, what some of them need,
Well, it sounds so simple, but it is that simple. Yeah. Bro. Okay, cool. Beef. Yeah. What are some things? Don't worry, we ain't going into specifics. Don't worry. Yeah. What are some things that you didn't consider until you was actually like knee deep in the beef?
Some things I didn't consider is how much people it affects on both sides. Say like if I'd lost one of my friends to knife crime, obviously his family and myself would be grieving. The other person who might have done it is getting a 30-year sentence. his parents are missing out on their son now in prison. That's one thing I didn't take in. I didn't even take that in consideration one bit. How many people it actually affects is like a ripple effect. You know, I've got friends who you probably know some like doing 20s and 30s and that, and it's sad. Like a lot of people they get forgotten about.
That's what I said. You know? Forgotten prisoners. I was even gonna say to you, like, have you seen? Because I've heard this scenario talked about, whether it be tunes or actual people. Have you personally witnessed younger than you, get a sentence, you get a bird, like a 20 or whatever, and maybe like the first year you see him, he's kind of gassed and that, and then the next year you see
quieter and quieter.
Just talk about that witnessing that, because I think a lot of youths don't really deep this stuff. They think it's GTA. Raw man's gonna come out 2040. It's calm, bro. That's a long time.
I was in Belmarsh for a couple of years with a lot of these youngsters who are just fresh, getting 20-year sentences. Gas for the first year, thinking, "Oh fuck it, it's nothing." Months and months, 6 months, a year goes by. You slowly see them start getting quieter and quieter, hoping for appeals. Even I know people 10 years into their sentences still hoping their appeal's gonna come through. You know,
what do they still? Because you said they get quieter, but are they still trying to put across this image of man don't care?
You get one or two, not many. You get one or two who's still like that, but majority of them start getting within their self, and they just make prison their life,
and just become accustomed to whatever. Yeah. See, I think that thought process I already had, fortunately, when I was younger. I don't know how, but I just always thought, if I was going to make 5k doing this, but if I did a normal job, I would have got 25k and I'll still be free. Wouldn't that make more sense to do?
So this is something I'd say to you. So obviously, you know, I've got the big sentence. I've got a 17-year sentence. 45 grand I took.
Break that down.
So
let's do the maths. I'll get the calculator out.
£45,000 for a 17-year sentence. Obviously, do 8.5 years in prison. I could have worked in Asda's, Tesco's, and I could have made that. I'm not sure what you get. 2 years.
No, I don't know what the pay is. On average, that works out to be 5.5 basically bags a year. Yeah, 5,600, but 5.5 bags a year. You can make that probably in half a year.
Look at that, and I've just spent 8.5 years in prison when I could have made that legit in a year or so. But at the same time, you got to think, if you're making 40,000 every other week or month,
obviously that's
different. Then you're nice.
Yeah, that's a different sentence.
Then it's worked out.
That's a different sentence.
But when it don't go your way, like me, I just
then you're looking like,
you know what I mean?
It
wasn't great.
It sounds silly, yeah, but I think of it like when in football, when man does a Panenka, the chip penalty and that.
Yeah.
When it bangs, it looks cold.
It works, yeah.
You see, when it fucks up, you look like a dickhead.
Exactly that.
And that's kind of how
how I felt. I felt I'm sitting in prison for this long, getting paid £11 a week for cleaning the wing.
Another thing that people don't, when I say people, I'm talking about people that don't know about this stuff. A lot of these people, they don't deep raw, like, that's what you're gonna get paid, you know. What man is outside campaigning to increase because that's not enough to live on outside, you're getting that week.
A week. £11 a week I used to get for cleaning the wings, the landings and that, changing the bins. And from that £11 you got to buy food, your toiletries, like toothpaste and that, phone credit, stamps.
Does it stretch?
It's a stretch. I used to probably get about 6 tins of mackerel, a pack of crackers, and probably like a one toilet tray, maybe like £3 phone credit. And your money's gone. If I'm lucky enough to have like some supportive friends who looked after me throughout the sentence, which I'm very grateful for. Yeah. But a lot of people are in prison. They've not got that support what I had.
Most people don't have that.
And do you know what's sad? Sometimes I used to get my canteen, because my canteen was, I'll be honest, my canteen was always healthy most weeks.
What's canteen for the people that...
Canteen's just like a shop where once a week you can order your tins of mackerel, your tunas, your crackers. I used to love crackers. I used to bang crackers. All your breakfast stuff, whatever, porridge and all of that sort of stuff. But I used to feel bad because the boys used to look after me and send money, and I was all right for canteen. I had quite a lot. But I used to look at I used to hide my canteen because some people didn't have as much as me, and I didn't want them to feel bad that I got a lot, and it used to upset me, you know.
So what I've noticed, like talking to you as well, is that you have always been conscious of people. Maybe not all of the bigger picture, but you still have always had thoughts of, like, oh, I'm not trying to like make my man feel away, or I'm not trying to really like take the piss out of my man. Like you still was conscious of this stuff, even though
I've always been very respectful to people, you know.
Hey, that will get you a long way.
I've always been very respectful to people, like
that will get you a long way, bro. I laugh and I say to people, bro, I think manners is like one of my superpowers, fam.
Yeah, do you know what's crazy? I say hello to absolutely everyone in the street. You know, if I make eye contact with someone, you're right, brother, or you're right.
Yeah.
Sometimes more time I get ignored.
Yeah, man will look at you like, what you do?
But
bro.
It's just, you know, if you make eye contact with someone, it's a quick little thumbs up or a nod of the head.
Yeah.
You know?
No, 100%, bro. And in fact, I've got a YouTube out there, but I'm not going to talk about it now. But it kind of incorporates that type of thing, just to kind of show people's perspective, and also like the rat race. When people they got whatever they got going on, you saying hello to me, you're weird, bruv. Stop talking to me. That's how some people are. But some people will stop and go, oh, like why? Are you alright? And you say, yeah. And then now all of a sudden you're having a conversation. Now all of a sudden man saying, yeah, I'll do this job. Oh, take my card. Yeah. And you wouldn't have had
networking. Like
you wouldn't have
just
had
never
that.
know. Yeah, you're gonna meet.
Okay, cool. Was it worth it?
No, I missed out on a long time with my daughter. I left my daughter when she was 2 years old. Come out to 11-year-old with attitude.
Wow.
With attitude. We're slowly sorting that out. She just started secondary school now as well. So I'm still trying to play my dad role, and I'm still trying to get myself in her life
properly.
For the
years that obviously.
Yeah, so we're still working things out. But I know she's definitely happy to have me out.
Bro, I told you, kids, they're very in my head. Maybe I'm oversimplifying things, but obviously I don't have kids yet. But if you're there, like for a phone call, for a FaceTime, for a chat, to ask them, like, how was school? What are you learning and that?
Yeah,
like. From my experience, because I'll say it like this, my mum, shout out my mum, her priorities was making sure we had a roof over our head and clothes on our backs. But when it comes to school and stuff, she wasn't necessarily all the way like involved. So there was even she don't even know, bruv. In year 11, I got excluded a couple of times. She didn't even know, because obviously my big brother was there. He would kind of maybe get the letters before she can see it, or like there's ways you can work it around. And by the time she would be back from work, I would have already been back from school. So you can kind of play it off. But the point I'm trying to make is, a lot of kids, as we said, don't really get asked, like, what are you learning? What are you into? Have you tried? Have you thought about this?
Yeah.
Do you need someone to take you to this training session or whatever on a weekly basis and stuff? Obviously, these roles would normally be fulfilled by parents. A lot of people don't have both parents. Some people don't have any. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good thing what you're doing with your daughter and that, and I'm sure like as she gets older, she'll even be able to more understand. Like
it's coming together, man.
Yeah,
it's definitely coming together.
Okay, cool. So before we go, a couple things I want to ask you, and then you can even start talking even more about like the stuff that you got planned. What's one thing that you love about the ends? And it don't even have to be specific to where we grew up. It could just be South London. It could be London or whatever.
One thing I love about the ends. One thing I used to love about the ends was the community what we had.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like if we'd have a barbecue on the ends,
100%.
and all the man them just come together.
100%. A couple of the man was at my birthday barbecue the last one that I done. So
what? When was that?
Don't want to put my birthday out there, but mid-July basically.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll talk about after. But yeah, see, just seeing all the men come together as a community, Hennessy bottles, we're eating, just to see everyone's faces. Do you know what's funny? There's a lot of people who even done me dirty on ends, and I still fucking love the people, bro. But I'm loving people from a distance now. So I see them like, yo,
come on, man.
Like, yeah, no, just to see the ends as a community together.
I think part of me is doing this pod with that in mind, that hopefully I connect with people and I can have some sort of influence to do what you just said, like bring back that community feeling, because like I know what you're talking about.
What that's gonna take though, how this is gonna work is people gotta let their stupidness go. They've gotta let their ego go. See, like if he's done him wrong, he's just got to either stop talking to him, or just let that whole situation go altogether. Otherwise, you're gonna hang on to it, and that's gonna eat you up.
Yeah, it is.
So I've let things go.
Yeah.
Even though it burned at the time, I've let things go, and I think, blaming all my life's a lot better.
I think kind of spooks some people as well, because you know who you are. Like, there's certain booky things that certain people have done. Could be big, could be small. I think what spooks people about me is, like you said, I'm always respectful. So there ain't going to be a situation where you're talking to a man who's saying, "Rah, did you hear what Cam said?" Not really. I don't just draw out people. I don't just dig people out. Like, I'll still say hello. I'll still say hello to your mum, even if I think you're a pussy-o. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just have my opinion of you being a pussy-o. And I just, as you said, you can be a pussy-o over there. That's cool with me.
That, bro.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't have to actively seek to do something to you for me to get into a situation, for you to be injured, for now your kids are missing out, and they don't need to.
And do you know what's mad? Like,
don't need to be like that, bro. Even
like the people that have done me wrong, I don't even want them to feel uncomfortable around me. So I'll make them know exactly what it is. So like, I want them to be around them. So I want them to be around the friends, because we've all got the same friends. We've all got the same friend group, haven't we? So I just want them to feel. I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable around me. You know.
Nah, it's not nice actually.
That's why a lot of people got confused when I come home. They probably thought, Lou's gonna go and get my man. Lou's gonna get my man. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't really care. Something was been and gone out my head now.
Bruv, you know. So I watched your doc, and in your doc you were showing the fact that obviously around like 9 Elms, Battersea Way, all of the high-rise buildings have gone up, rare. Bearing in mind, I live in Grease Block, so and I live on like the top floor, so I could see Sunday Market.
You got the new little cake shop along there now.
Yeah. So even with all of that stuff, I literally grew up while this stuff also was being built. At one point, I could see the London Eye, and now it's a myth.
Something's blocking it.
It's a myth. So, but I'm saying all of that to say, time moves on. Life goes on.
You know, that made me mad emotional when I first come home and I see them buildings. I was coming down Wandsworth Road, driving. I think I was actually going Grease Block, and I'm coming. Just got past El-Hat now. I'm looking in Vauxhall. I'm like, where the hell am I?
Yeah, man, think he's got Chelsea in that.
I've looked to the left. There's a tube station,
bro. That has got any man that's come out of Penn now. That's from the ends that sees 9 Elm Station is absolutely rattled.
Like, how? Like, how'd you just throw tube stations up like that,
bro? You see, what you don't even, or what you may not even be able to deep is obviously, you know, the Sainsbury's that's there now with the high-rise buildings.
What, some mad car park and
bro, they've redone a Sainsbury's there probably 4 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because you would know, if you're from the ends, you would know if you go Vauxhall Market, you got to cut through, bust the left,
you walk straight down.
That's you. If you're from the ends, you'd know that. But obviously now there's another entrance, similar. Not the same though.
It's not the same. I actually walked it just to see what's happening and that.
Not the same.
Nah, it's not the same feeling either, is it?
So like, no, definitely
it's not.
And even like Mandem, as I said, I grew up in Greece. When I was younger and I could actually like climb the walls and all that mad thing, man, I would just hop the fence.
Do you remember did you ever used to climb the little wall near the alleyway? You know the alleyway that goes into Patmore? That is the little cut through. That's what I used to be a long hang drop though, back in the day, innit?
Brother, when you're young, these things are like, as Jaja said on our pod the other day, it's like the concrete playground.
That was fun.
Bro, you don't deep that raw. You're really like on like a first floor, second floor level, bro. Yeah. What are you doing? You're really on barbed wire.
Coming home with anti-climbing paint on man's kneecap and that.
Brother, come on, man.
My mum used to diss me.
Brother. But no, yeah, it's funny, innit? Nostalgia is a very interesting thing, but it puts things into perspective to understand, as I said, life goes on. No one's waiting for you to get your shit right. people are gonna start doing things, and 5 years on, when you are doing what you're doing, acting or whatever it is, my show's increased with followers, subscribers, selling merch and stuff. Man's gonna look and say, "Raw, like, I didn't think that man was still gonna be doing it in 2025." And it's like, yeah, bro, like, you can either start now in 2023, 2022, whatever, or you can wait 3-4 years, waste time doing whatever you want to do, and then start. But I can promise you, the man that started today is gonna get ahead of you, even if it's by 2%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a message that I just wanted to throw out there, man. Like, just don't let time pass you by, bro. As I said, when you're a man that you just come out and pen and you see how buildings have changed, you can't go down that one way no more.
And don't watch what everyone's doing. There's some people's going to be well ahead of you as well. Don't think it's a race.
Bro,
yeah, it's not a competition.
Lane.
You're in your own lane. Do you know what's mad? See, when I go on Instagram and that, and I see like some of my friends absolutely smashed. You know how motivating it is for me when I see everyone up here now. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud. What? Like, you gasses me up.
You and me have the same mentality of, when I see someone doing good, it means I can do good too. Someone else has the same mentality, has another mentality of, raw, like, what's he done to? How come he? That's what they think.
That's what it is.
Change that, bro. Change that. There's nothing to stop you from doing what you want to do. Obviously, if there's certain stipulations that it's just not, like, by law you can't do it, but cool. But no one's stopping you from putting your money in your pocket and going to chase what you're on. But understand, it's not just, you do something today and by Saturday you've blown. Nah, bro.
People are just expecting things to just fall into their laps.
Bro, like, the biggest artists, your Blades, your Skeptors, all of these guys, bro, you go on YouTube 10 years ago. Come on, there.
Blade's been doing it. See, I've known Blade since he was a garage MC. Not a lot of people know this. He used to MC. I did not know he was doing He used to MC to garage.
I did not know that
on a pirate radio station. Yeah. We're gonna get him on my Gym Bars episode soon, anyway, and we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, what, you gonna try and make him spit that?
I've got some old school garage.
What, Blade?
Yes.
That's a throwback. Shout out Blade though. But he's a type of person that, me coming from where I come from, I look at and say, raw, you got a caffeine
Barca.
You got a caffeine.
IB4.
Okay. And obviously you had BXB. And obviously now you're doing what you're doing. Collabing with Trap Star. Music's been fire from Quay. Like, man's literally showing you, so what's stopping you from you doing it, bro?
Exactly that, man.
But as I said, that's our mentality. Hopefully we can encourage people to adopt that same mentality and understand that's how you move forward and maneuver and that. Right, we're about to wrap up. Been a sick episode. I knew it was going to be a sick episode anyway.
Come on.
But before we go, I want you to talk about some of the things that you've got going on now, maybe some of the things that you've achieved, obviously, while you've been out the last year or so. Just let the people know what you're about now, what you've been up to and stuff. Yeah,
so I've been home a year now. I've tried my hands at a few different jobs. Mm-hmm. So I've done a day doing removals, house clearances.
As you do.
I had a madness one time though. So some random guy, Steve, messaged me on Instagram saying I've got a day's work for you.
Shout out Steve.
We went around cleaning roofs. You know the towels on roofs? Like taking the green algae stuff on the top with some mad sprays and...
What do you call it? Grout?
I don't even know, but it was decent money. He took me on for a day's work. Bro, I remember he fell off the top of the roof,
Him?
Yeah, I was meant to be holding the bottom of the ladder for a minute.
Oh no!
Mate, he slipped from the roof, right onto his back, but you know when your ribs in, I'm laughing in. I've had to turn around because he's like, so I done one day's work with him.
Was he alright?
Steve was actually alright, man. He still shouts me every now and again, see if I'm up for a bit of work, but mate, it was a bit of graft that. I've finished my personal training level 3 course. At the moment, I'm trying to work on my YouTube content. So I've got my YouTube called Big Lou Gym Bars, where I'm gonna have people taking part in short interviews and workouts. I want influencers, I want ex-offenders, I want celebrities, I want sports stars, anyone who's got a story to tell. At the moment, I've just been working with a few ex-offenders just to get their stories out there and make people know prison's not the one, sort of thing, you know. But hopefully we're going to get some bigger names on next year, get some merch out as well. So yeah, I'm just busy practicing editing and stuff like that. So I'm new to all of this, but I'm getting a lot better. So make sure you subscribe to Big Lou Gym Bars. And I appreciate all of it, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, man. I knew this episode was gonna be sick. I mean, majority of man's episodes are sick. Before we came here, like I was driving, I was thinking, raw, like so basically, I'm an overthinker, innit? That's one of my.
So am I.
Yeah, that's one of my things, innit? Like I believe anyway that I think very meticulously about stuff. I think proper in depth, yeah. And I was thinking, raw, like man's pod is called More to the Ends. Have I really like showcased the message that I'm trying to push, which is there's more to life than the area you're from? And every time I do episodes like this, episodes with Judge of Souls, like even
I've not watched that. I'm gonna watch that one.
Yeah, man. Like when we do these episodes, it kind of nudges me to say, yeah, bro, you know what you're doing. You're pushing the right message. And I'll say this, innit? Personally, it's hard to resist talking about bullshit, because when you do talk about bullshit, that gets you views. But from the get-go, I wanted to push a message weekly. There's more to the ends. Don't think that you just have to be defined where you're from. You can better your life. And even if you spend almost 20 odd years inside doing stupidness or whatever, you've got another day.
Yes.
Like you've got another day to change it and make an impact on the world and that. And with what I would say as well before we go, with all the deaths and all these crazy things that's happened in the last few years and that, I think people just need to be a bit more conscious of the fact that none of us are going to be here forever, fam.
Yeah.
So try and focus on the impact that you can make.
And live your life, man.
Yeah,
enjoy
bro.
life. And do you know what? Be yourself. Just be yourself. You're going to enjoy life a whole lot more. I promise you.
Anyway, I when you said that, I was just thinking of when a rapper said, raw, like, why are you wearing a belly in a video? Like, you're not even on nothing. Like, just make this. These are the things that pop in my head because I'm thinking, raw, like, there's men that are in videos aligning themselves for certain man, wearing bellies and that. You're not even on that.
Do you know what? K-Trap put up a little tweet the other day. I'm going to read it, you know.
Read it out. I
enjoyed it.
And it's refreshing when people like that say the real.
This is what Trap tweeted the other day. See, once you slowly start to get out of the hood, you start realising how cursed that way of living is. Not even just the gangbanging, just the poverty, and even how our parents have been programmed to live. It's crazy.
I don't think there's anything else to say after that note. I don't think there's anything else to say, bro. I think you've basically encapsulated everything we needed to say, bro.
I'm glad I didn't start stuttering because my reading, I was thinking, oh,
bro,
Lou's going to start doing a mad one here.
But don't get twisted in.
But big up Trappo for that one, man.
Yeah, man. Look, shout out to the man them doing their things from South or from London or from wherever, trying to better their life. I can personally never hate on a man trying to better their life, bro. We're all just humans at the end of the day trying to find out where you get me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Lou?
Yes,
love for pulling up, man. Proper pod. Episode 49. Almost 50 episodes. We only started a year ago.
That's sick.
Bro.
That's sick.
I personally just said, not going to complain. Head down, graft. Couple years, we'll see where we are. And I'm proud of the content that we continue to create and that we've created. So, yeah, man. More to the Ends podcast, MTTE. Go search up our thing. Go search up Lou's thing. Support the man there, man. We're just trying to do positive things out here. Well, that's it, man.